The Reconstruction of the Black Household Part 3, The Economic Ledger. Welcome, family. This is Just Word Talks, and this is Ammani. We talk theology, culture, history, and the headlines, but we measure everything by the Word of God. Not vibes, not trends, not my feelings, not your feelings. The Word is the standard, and the standard is love with backbone. If you are ready for truth that heals, like, subscribe, and share this with somebody you love. All right, family, breathe and let the Bible talk. The Reconstruction of the Black Household Part 3, The Economic Ledger, family. Let me say it plain. A lot of people keep asking why we have a wealth gap, why we are running hard but not moving far, why we are tired and still behind. And yes, there are many layers to that story. But one layer is so practical that we cannot ignore it. Because a household is not only spiritual, it is economic. It is a system. It is either multiplying your effort or dividing your effort. And family, I am not talking at you. I am talking to us. I want us free, not just emotionally, but financially. So our children do not inherit stress as their first legacy. The book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 22 says, "A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the righteous." Family, look at the time horizon in that verse. Children's children. That is not payday thinking. That is legacy thinking. God is calling us to build long. And here's what the data keeps showing across multiple studies. Children in married couple households tend to have the lowest poverty rates. Children in single-parent households have much higher poverty rates. Not because single parents do not love their kids, they do, but because one adult is carrying two adult loads. One national set of education indicators showed children in married couple households had the lowest poverty rate, and children in mother-only households had the highest poverty rate. The pattern held across racial groups, including Black children, where the poverty rate for children in mother-only homes was far higher than for those in married couple homes. Now, family, do not get defensive. Get focused, because if the structure changes the outcome, then the structure is a lever God expects us to pull. Let me put numbers on it. A widely cited census-based comparison for 2009 reported about 11% of children in married couple families in poverty, compared to about 44% of children in female-headed families in poverty. That is not a small difference. That is a different universe. Family, that is what I mean by ledger. A ledger shows you what is costing you and what is paying you. Now, let us talk about what many people call the success sequence. It is simple. Finish school, work full-time, get married before having children. When researchers summarize this pattern, the point is not to shame. The point is to show cause and effect. Order matters. An evidence review for Federal Family Research explains that finishing school, working full-time, and marrying before having children is linked to substantially better odds of avoiding poverty and achieving stability. So, family, we are not making this up. Structure matters. Family, let me slow down and make the logic simple. Finishing school increases earning power. Working full-time stabilizes income. Marriage allows two adults to share the cost of living. And having children inside that covenant means a baby is not arriving into chaos. A baby is arriving into a plan. Now, I want to be careful. The success sequence is not a salvation plan. Jesus saves, but it is a wisdom plan. And wisdom reduces unnecessary suffering. The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 5, verse 8 says, "But if any provide not for his own, and specially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith, and is worse than an infidel." Provide is not only money, but it includes money, because bills do not disappear when love is present. Lights still have to stay on, rent still has to be paid, food still has to be bought. And when there is a father and a mother in covenant, income can be pooled, expenses can be shared, time can be coordinated, stress can be distributed. And that alone changes the economic math. Family, I want you to picture two runners in the same race. One runner has a backpack filled with bricks. The other runner has a teammate helping carry the load. Both can run, but one will burn out faster, not because they are weak, but because they are overloaded. That is why household structure matters economically. Two adults committed under God, working together, planning together, saving together, parenting together. That is not just romance. That is a wealth-building machine. Now, let me add another layer of data that hits home. A national education report comparing children by household type found a clear pattern. Children in married couple households had the lowest poverty rates. Children in mother-only households had the highest poverty rates. And for Black children in particular, the poverty rate was around 45% for those living in mother-only households, around the mid-30s for those in father-only households, and single digits for those in married couple households. Family, that is not a judgment. That is a signal. The structure either shields a child from hardship or leaves them exposed. Now, family. Here is another piece of the ledger that people do not like to talk about. The country itself is shifting away from marriage. The census has reported that the share of adults who have never been married has risen over the decades. And the median age of first marriage has moved up into the late 20s and early 30s. What that means in plain language is this: people are delaying commitment, but they are not always delaying children. So children are being born into less stable systems. Now look at the National Family Structure Snapshot. In 2023, about 2/3 of children overall lived with two married parents. About 1/5 lived with mother only, and a smaller share lived with father only. That is the big picture. Now bring it back home to us. In 2023, Black alone children living with two parents was about 44%, and Black alone children living with two married parents was about 40%. That means most of our children are still living outside a married two-parent structure. Family, that is not to shame. That is to motivate, because the numbers tell us where to focus our reconstruction. If we want to lower poverty, if we want to raise graduation, if we want to build wealth, we have to rebuild the structure that protects children from instability. Let me say it Ammani plain. We cannot fund our way out of father absence. We cannot program our way out of covenant collapse. We cannot vote our way out of household disorder. And family, yes, money matters, but so does time. A single-parent home often has less time margin, less time for homework help, less time for reading, less time for consistent bedtime routines, less time for skill building, not because the parent does not care, but because the parent is doing two jobs at once. So the child pays a time tax. That is why marriage is more than love. It is coordination. It is a shared calendar. It is tag team parenting. It is one parent taking the child to practice while the other cooks dinner. It is one parent helping with math while the other handles the bills. Two adults can do more than double because they create margin. And margin is where wealth grows. Margin is where savings grows. Margin is where a business idea becomes real. Margin is where you can say no to a bad job and wait for a better one. Now, let me give you a real-life picture. Imagine a mother with two children. She is working full-time. She is paying rent. She is paying childcare. She is paying transportation. She is paying food. Every surprise is a crisis. One flat tire becomes debt. One missed day of work becomes eviction stress. That is not because she is lazy. That is because she is carrying a system alone. Now imagine that same house with a committed husband who is present. Two incomes, or one steady income with shared labor. Two adults splitting childcare logistics. Two adults sharing emergencies. Now, a flat tire is still annoying, but it is not always catastrophic, because the system has support. Family. This is why covenant is compassionate. Covenant is how you love your future self. Covenant is how you love your children before they are even born. So when I call us back to marriage, I am calling us back to mercy. Mercy has structure. Mercy has planning. Mercy says, I will not leave you carrying this alone. All right, family, Take a breath and let that land. Now I want to be careful and loving. Some of us are rebuilding after mistakes. Some of us are co-parenting. Some of us are healing from betrayal. I see you, God sees you, and God can restore. But as we move forward, we must stop celebrating choices that keep us poor and start celebrating commitments that make us stable. The book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 21 says, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things." Family, stewardship starts small. A few things: your own house, your own spending, your own choices, your own boundaries. And this is why I keep coming back to inheritance, because a stable household makes it easier to buy a home. And home ownership has historically been one of the main ways families build wealth over time. A home can become equity. Equity can become college support, a business start, a retirement cushion, a down payment for the next generation. But when a household is unstable, you are often stuck renting longer, moving more, paying more fees, losing time, and time is money. Family, I am going to say a hard line softly. Love without structure is not enough to break poverty. Love needs covenant. Love needs planning. Love needs discipline. Love needs a system. So here is the Ammani sentence I want you to remember. Covenant is not a vibe, it is a wall. Character is the mortar, and stewardship is the roof. My challenge today is simple. Audit your economic ledger. Where is money leaking because of disorder? Where is time leaking because of conflict? Where is peace leaking because there is no shared plan? To the men, providing is not just proving you are a man, it is protecting your children's children. To the women, building is not just keeping a house clean, it is creating a system where a legacy can grow. And to everybody listening, do not let the culture teach you that marriage is just paper. Marriage is partnership, and partnership changes the math. In the next part, we will talk about the moral infrastructure, because money is not the only issue. A house can have income and still collapse if character is missing. So we will put the moral steel back into the beams. Family, thank you for building with me. Like, subscribe, and share, because somebody you love needs truth that heals. Thank you, friends, for talking to us today on Just Word Talks. If you like our time together, then like, subscribe, and share with a friend or family member. You believe we could bless, and that way we can all continue to grow together. Thanks again.